These only exist on 1 hectare.
Yeah.
If that's mowed down, it's gone for eternity.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing now, and we're doing it with ignorance.
I think also young people need to, they feel a lot of pressure from their family, or they imagine there is pressure from their family. Okay. Go to university, you do your NYSC, then you get a job. By age 25, you need to be married and start having children. And if you don't do that, there's something wrong with you. Who said so? That's not, I mean, come on. The world has changed, yeah? And I want young people, boys and girls, to make their own decisions for their life, yeah? Make your own decisions. Ask yourself, you know, what would give me joy? How do I want to spend my life? You don't have to get married. You don't have to have children. If you do that, it's going to set you back financially. It's going to, you know, find an interest and pursue it, whether it's music or science.
There's something
or
interesting
literature.
To both of us, which is largely absent here that we're used to living in other parts of the world, which is Nigerians don't have any interest outside of their work. Yeah, they go home.
Hobbies.
Yeah,
a lot. Not Nigerians, you know, but most Nigerians. Yeah, they don't have something
outside of the work.
Outside of their job, and maybe they're not even interested. The job is just for a paycheck. Well, and that's true in many places in the world. But you know what
something that feeds their own soul.
Yeah.
It's not about money.
Yeah.
It's about something more than that. We tend not to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't even read very much in this country.
No, people are only, when we came here, there used to be bookstores, and now the bookstores or the few places that are selling books, it's only these self-help books, how to get rich quick, how to be a success.
Yes.
I've never read one of those books in my life. I'm not saying that I'm a success, but I'm just saying people should just think for themselves, look in their hearts, what interests you? Pursue it. And don't worry about other people's judgments or expectations of you, yeah?
When we came, originally in the late 80s, my favorite bumper sticker that was all over in Nigeria, which was, let them say.
You remember that one? Are you old enough to remember it?
Yes, I remember that one. Let them say.
We're so worried about what other people might say about us, and I don't understand that because I frankly don't give a damn what people think or say about me. I know myself.
Yes.
And let them say. I was just having a discussion the other day with one of my staff who was concerned that people were saying, I said, who cares what other people are saying?
Yeah.
You know yourself.
Yes.
And this young people feeling obligated that they have to have, get married by a certain age, have X number of children. I'm like, what? Oh, well, you don't know my parents. I said, are your parents going to be feeding those children and putting them through school? No, they're not. Your parents expect you to take care of them when they get old, and you've already had to help your junior brothers and sisters, and now your parents expect you. So
it's kind of like
you've got to. The mindset needs to change.
You go to university in Nigeria. People rarely are studying what they want to study.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to be a biologist. So what are you studying? Political science.
Well,
because that's all I could get into.
But it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Nobody wants to study biology. So we get university groups, and that's one of the reasons we keep this place in Calabar, is it's accessible. We get school groups almost every day, right from nursery school through university, and they come in and we talk and question and answer and lecture and stuff. For as long as they want to stay, they're welcome. And if I'm there, I always ask them. It might be 90 students from biological sciences at University of Calabar, let's say. And first thing I ask them is, how many of you wanted to do your degree in biology? Raise your hand.
One.
Out of 90, you might get 2 or 3. Now, this is a problem in this country. And they're forced into some system, I couldn't get into political science or computer science, which is what I wanted to study, but my uncle could give me a place in biology, so just so I can get a degree, I'm doing that. Well, that's a waste
But don't you think, because we are inspired by what we see and what we see other people do? My thinking is probably one of the reasons why we are losing our values, we are losing our culture, we don't have pride in what we are, and like Peter really put it, God's creation, is probably because we are not seeing other people, champion this so that we can follow, especially as young people. So which is why I think for what the work you've done, it should be something of a national honor. It should be something that should be celebrated nationally. So that way people can be inspired. You can say, oh, if Peter and Liza can spend almost 4 decades of their life doing this.
For no kobo.
For no
Never
kobo.
been paid.
For no kobo, really.
Who's going to pay us?
Really? So if they can't do that and still be happy and see, of course, they don't need to have much, why can't you? Why can't somebody follow
Exactly.
that path?
I think, I want young people to see. It's like, you can ignore some expectations of you. And what is the urge for money? Money never made anybody happy. Yeah? If you have enough to eat, that's all you need. Yeah? And a place to live that's safe. That's all you need. What's going to give you satisfaction on your deathbed is to look back and say, did I achieve something? Did I do anything? Did I make a mark? Did I inspire anybody? Did I save a species?
Did I make the world a better place
Yeah.
for my having been here? Did
Yeah.
I just take up space?
Yeah, did I make the world a better place? That's all we can hope for.
One of the reasons why your country functions the way it functions because you have strong institutions that actually enforce those things or things like that. If you get a chance, you get a seat with the president, what do you think would be the most valuable advice you can give to help with the conservation work that you have done already almost all your life that can be done at least for the next generation? What will you say to the president?
I believe that the enforcement agencies protecting our natural resources need to be empowered. Things like they need to have staff, they need to have vehicles, they need to have weapons, they need to be mobilized so they can do their job, and they need training. But they can't do their jobs from an office. They need to be out there, yeah? And we need to, specifically here in Cross River and other places in the country, we still look at forests as a resource for revenue generation for the state government. Are you kidding? Those days are long gone. That is a colonial era mentality, a pre-oil 1970s mentality. This country is funded from oil and the revenue that the federal government gives to each state from oil. The states do not need to destroy their last forests for additional revenue because the money's not even going into the state coffers anyway. It's going in some august pocket, we don't know. Yeah, and that is a short-term gain, risking long-term disaster for short-term gain. And I think that also possibly a mistake was made in the past, and I think in this country too much power is devolved to the states.
Okay.
Governors are more powerful than senators. They're actually almost more powerful than the president. And I think that needs to change. I think Abuja needs to take a little bit stronger position.
Okay.
For example, federal forestry. It still exists. It's still staffed. There's a building there. But there are no federal forests in Nigeria. All the forest reserves are under the states. And then the governor comes in, whether it's this state or another, and he just sees it as his personal revenue source. And where is the federal government? These I can show you a quote there from President Obasanjo when he visited our project at AFI in the year 2000.
Yes.
Very pleased to be here. I am impressed with the dedication and enthusiasm of the staff. It is worthy of emulation. The flora and the fauna of this rainforest are resources of interest to the world. We must keep them for the future generations and for the world.
This was written by the former president.
That's his signature right there. And I see him as a very patriotic man, a true Nigerian. He cares about this country. And what he was trying to say there is, these are not just resources for a community or a local government or a state alone.